Well, I want to make a comment while I'm showing little Dixie here eating his food. You know, my solution on a Broward County voting scandal would be to not count any of the votes in Broward or West Palm Beach counties. The hell with them all together. That would be the solution. The reason I'm saying this is because, you know, we look at all these votes that came in late, and they have the money and technology. It's not that you have more people, but yeah, they have more people, but they got way, that's a filthy rich county, both Broward and West Palm Beach. The government's got loads of money there. There's a higher tax rate. If they can't freaking come up with the right amount of votes within 30 minutes, that's state law, you know, count all votes up to 30 minutes after the closing polling date. In other words, you can't have people going to the polls either 2 days later. You know, it's on Tuesday and that's it. You know, that's the rule. You can't say I'm decided to vote next week too. That's another freaking rule. So, what I look at it is, we'll discount all the votes, all of them, not count any of them. And because the other side of it is, it's not just that the votes came in late, but it's also that if there's such blatant, obvious cheating going on, there is, they were cheating while the election was going on. In other words, those votes aren't correct even up to the point at the time the polls were closed. This is what's actually going on in California too. As a matter of fact, what they're doing is they're using mail-in votes of people that are registered voters, and then they go to vote, and sometimes they're actually catching them that there was a mail-in vote already gone. But then if they don't go to vote, the mail-in vote counts. So, but I do have to say that, you know, people are that stupid to freaking vote away the inherent tenets of this country. So be it. I personally can't stand New York City for that reason. You know, the financial oligarchs up there, and also South Florida, where a lot of them move to, and also coastal California is a bunch of garbage. California is a great state, but coastal California is screwed up. A lot of, not all of it, but you know, in the areas of Sacramento and all that. But you know, these people that live in their ivory towers, they're not going to live in their ivory towers too much longer, because if it does go all the way where the majority rules and the majority hates the oligarchs, you know, the ones that are the white establishment, they're not going to be safe. They're going to be voted out of their mansions, just as incurred elsewhere. So, you know, all these, actually that's what I think is going to happen in Florida eventually, if this crap keeps going. You know, these idiots coming from up north, coming in these gated communities and all this garbage, eventually those gated communities are going to people that didn't put a dime into them, and they're just going to be given to them because they voted that way. Because private property rights are not an inherent tenet of communism. And a lot of people that voted for Gillum, Abrams, and Obama are blatantly communists. They just want whatever they're going to grab out of it. Because, you know, if you might as well vote to grab whatever somebody else has. It's exactly what's going on. So, it's like me going to another country and saying, I want whatever the freaking rich people got, so I'll vote them out of existence, you know. That's what's going on. But you know what's going to happen? There's going to be nothing. You know, the United States is actually built upon the real Caucasian European settlers they got here. That's really what it was. I know there's other people that did shit, but it's mainly, if you look at all the inventions in the world, technology, and Google could say, you know, no, but if you look at even the Google technocrats, you know, it's really who are they? Oh, I could say Jewish. Jewish are the builders of this nation too, without a doubt. A lot of people don't like that, but that's the same reason a lot of people are jealous. But that's another same reason a lot of people are jealous of Caucasians. But if you take Jewish are on average around 106 IQ or even greater. But I'm an exception to the rule because my IQ was measured at 130, 135. I don't know what the hell that means exactly, but I think I'm fairly smart because I get out here and I trim trees, because I'm not just a bookworm, you know. I do a lot of different things, because I don't really think IQ is everything in the world. It's like common sense. But it's also just keeping active and doing things. But most of the people that voted for the Socialist Party, which I don't really like the Republican Party that much. I don't like Rick Scott. I can't stand Jeb Bush and all that garbage. But, you know, they're like socialism light. But most of the people actually voted for the Communist parties. You know, they're on a grain dole one way or the other. So if the government actually does collapse at one point in time, all the social services are going to collapse, all the food aid, all the medical assistance, all that crap's going to go out the window, and you know, at the end of that. So these cats walk across the street once in a while. There's no traffic over here. You know, they're smart enough to stay the hell away from the cars. So there's cars way back there, but they don't go that way. So, you know, my opinion on Broward, I mean, it was so obvious. The thing actually, if you look back in, I think it was 1996, the book Vote Scam 2000 was written. And, you know, it's been known South Florida's been screwed up for voting. You know, all kinds of garbage going on. California is too. So, and I assume it's going on everywhere, because what they really ought to do, but you know, it's not going to happen, because this is how, you know, they gain control. You know, if you had a receipt that had a number on it, a unique identifier number on it, and see, they run away. Big book. You had a receipt with a unique identifier number on it, and you were able to take that unique identifier and go to a, you know, secure website and type in that number, and you could see, oh, there's my name, there's my vote, or at least that's my vote. You know, that's how I voted, right? Maybe not your name, but the identifier number says that's your vote, and you say, oh, that's how I voted. You know, that would provide some security too. So I don't know where these guys went. See how they go? They hide. So pause is back there someplace. But you know, they had this, and the guy was actually in an accident. There was one guy that was in Georgia that was in an accident. There's another guy that did another similar thing in Tennessee. His SUV was hit from the back from a 18-wheeler, and the thing was overturned, and he died. So, in an accident, right? So, it's called a communist takeover of the United States. But, you know, the problem is people are way too timid. And, you know, there's people, they're not going to understand this. You can't explain it to them. You know, you can't explain this to anybody. So people just want stuff, and they want the government to give it to them. So, and, you know, the other thing is, too, if you look at the black vote in Florida, there was 97% of the black vote went to Gillum. In Georgia, 98% of the black vote went to Abrams. Now, interesting about, I don't know, Abrams is off the freaking charts, man, but that's ridiculous. But if you look at the black vote that occurred here in Florida, there wasn't even a look at the issues. They're just voting for the guy because he's identified with his race, right? Because Gillum, most of the black people in Florida, I got this from Reverends, want government, you know, instead of paying for, you know, going to government school or public school, they want a voucher that provides money so they can send their kids to private schools. DeSantis is for that. DeSantis is going to keep that. That's what black voters wanted, right? Gillum is against that, and that was a hot topic. So they're just voting for this guy because, well, that's what Soros counted on. He's a stooge of Soros, and so is Abrams. But Soros is counting on this, and I'm like, very few people can. I don't understand why people can't see what the hell's going on, but it's amazing. Who gives a crap, man? The way I look at it is, karma's a bitch. You know, people tend to set their own selves up more than with their perceived enemies. And that's usually what happens, right? Onyx, just Onyx. Freaking yo-yo. Your feathers inside still eating. So, but that's really what happens. People really set themselves up People are their own worst enemies. You know, if there was no outside influence, you know, if you just left it, whatever, just left it alone, whatever, you know, you'd be saying, well, the problems exist still. Oh, well, there you go. You know, what are you gonna do? Roll up your sleeves and fix it, right? Just like I'm fixing this thing. I gotta get this thing done today because first day we might not have too much rain. I can paint the rest of the wood and get my bench table. See, it's a table. It's a bench and a table. And I got pressure treated wood with this, and I clear coated this plastic so it doesn't get affected by the UV. So it should be kind of a good workbench too. Always doing something, but my opinion on the vote is that they should just, you know, they'll never do this. I would say Broward and West Palm Beach, your votes don't count. I'm sorry. And those freaking yo-yos that run those voting things, I throw them in a swamp with chicken fat rubbed all over them, you know. Make a nice morsel meal out of them. What the hell are you doing? You're freaking looking. What are you looking at? This guy, man, I don't know what the hell. Anyway, over now. I figured I'd talk to you while I'm looking at the cats because so Dixie out here was so cute eating that food. I was like, yeah. Anyway, there he is. They're brothers, man. Get the whole family together, right? He pauses across the street, playing in the dirt or something. He'll come back. Mama's inside. The other four are inside. Putin, Gold Digger, Goldie, Rocky. So, and hopefully I'll get some more video of some Southern Heritage stuff. I don't know if I'll be allowed to video that at the SCV meeting, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I don't necessarily vote for one guy because even a political party. Like if Jim Webb ever made it to the Democratic ticket, I would have voted for him. He was the former, I don't know, head of the Department of Navy, highly decorated Vietnam veteran, a real decorated Vietnam in combat, not fake, not for meritorious mass. He's a former senator out of Virginia. He's a Harvard fellow, wrote a bunch of, he's published books. He's very intelligent. Might not have been able to do as good a job as Trump, but I figure Trump is surrounded by so much crap. I think Trump is legit now. I don't think he's a fake. I was wondering, I was flip-flopping back and forth on him. I think he is legit now. 100%, I'm sure of it. But he's surrounded by so much crap. All he got to do is pull the plug on the economy, and he won't be president in 2020, guaranteed. That's all they got to do, because people stupidly vote. Depends if they think the president runs the economy 100%. The president can do some stuff with the economy. He don't run the economy 100%. And we're way overdue for a down cycle on a 7 to 10 year cycle. We're at 10 years, and we're also way overdue on a 60-year cycle. You know, the Great Depression type thing. Plus, we're in debt up to the freaking eyeballs, record debt, which has been going on for many years now, probably hitting critical mass. So what's going to happen? And then, you know, after that, I guess if, you know, the Communist Party gets in, that's going to be the last in the United States. We'll go to World War III. The idiots that all voted these idiots in, New York, coastal California, actually California get clobbered because they're laying their military bases all over the place. Florida will get clobbered because there's military bases all over the place. Cape Canaveral, you know, Homestead, and what is it? I forgot which ones are over here, man. Andrews Air Force Base or something, whatever. There's a lot of bases here in Florida because they installed them back in World War II. Plus, this whole area is very populated. It's got a large GDP output, and it's flat. So, if I stay here, if I'm still here, I'll be underground, and I'll have extra flags with me. So after the bomb goes off, or whatever the fuck they set off, I'll get out of my hole, and put the flag back up. I'll be the only one left.